During the making of the Indian blanket ring, the ring with the segments like this, you may have noticed that I added an accent ring above and below. A ring with these little elements that mimic an arrow feather. And you may have wondered, how were those done? Well, I'm going to show you that next. Before doing much of anything, I need a rough idea of what this ring's going to look like. My main Indian blanket design consists of 10 elements at about 4.2 inches wide. So I want 20 elements, just half of that length. Think of this design as just a zigzag chevron on its side. These chevrons on their sides are built just the same way as the zigzags were built in the zigzag ring. From a 3-part lamination, I've got a center layer about 3/4 of an inch thick, surrounded by 2 layers of purple heart in this case. Based on this sketch, I can now laminate my 3 pieces of wood together. I'm trying to mimic the look of feathers, so I'm using some straight-grained striped bacote. I could use zebra wood also. The glue job is pretty simple. There's only 2 seams. 6-inch spring clamps do a more than adequate job of providing the pressure. After scraping the surface, a pass through the planer gets them ready for cutting. I'm starting the cutting procedure by making a cut at 45 degrees. Now I've got a stop block set up so I can cut thin strips. These are a little more than 1/4 inch wide. I cut, I move, I cut, I move, and so forth. I need quite a few of these. By flipping every other one, I get a chevron, or in this case, what I call an arrow feather. Creating perfect seams requires very careful inspection and a little bit of disc sanding. Every seam is inspected before gluing it together. The glue job is pretty simple. A couple of spring clamps provide the pressure, but the key is doing a close inspection. After an hour of cure time, I'll take these to the disc sander, clean up all the squeeze out so they'll sit nice and flat on my miter saw. I'm going to put miter joints on the ends of these. Here they are. You can see the zigzag effect, but I'm not going to glue it together that way. I've set my miter saw at 9 degrees, the proper angle for 20 segments. I've put in a stop block so I can rest the points right against there and cut one end off all these pieces. Then I've adjusted the stop block so I can flip them over, cut the other end at the right length with the feather in the middle of the segment. I glued 2 rings together using the half ring technique, and now I'm putting the halves together. It's your choice on whether you want to alternate the direction of the feathers or put them all the same direction. I put them all the same direction. What you want to be careful about is not having them all go the same direction except for one, where you messed up and put it in going the wrong way. Here I have a ring of purple heart. I've split the ring into 2 pieces. Going to put one piece on my Indian blanket ring. I'll prepare that ring, sandwich the feather ring in between these 2 pieces of purple heart. That will create a border around my Indian blanket ring. This simple feather ring, it's probably not something you want to make the focal point of a large vessel, but it's a relatively simple way to make a very interesting border around a more ambitious feature ring. It's just one more thing for your bag of tricks.